When you get done picking your basil for the first time, it looks pitiful. It's not as full and pretty as it once was, but that's what you want. The more you pick it, the bigger it gets. And that's what we got today. Okay, I let it sit overnight. You see it wilted down a little bit. That's not a problem. I'm just going through it right now to make sure that there's no buggies on it. Get rid of some of the darker ones. Caterpillars like to, see this little leaf here? Caterpillars like to come under here and make cocoons. So I just kind of like to give it a once through here. Here's a piece of deal. Just like to give it the once through and make sure that we're not getting that extra protein. That's a funny joke. Alright, so let's just check it out. And so far, I've been sitting here going through it. So far, I haven't found anything. So I think we're good to go. I'm going to make a walnut pesto and put it in the freezer. I just want to show you how I do that. Get rid of him. That's quite a bit of basil. Alright, so I am going to wash it. Even though it came out of my garden, I'm going to wash it because that's just gross. You can put that in there. Just cold water. That's all you need. Don't add anything to it because basil is very, very tender. And you don't want to bruise it. You just don't want to alter the flavor. And there's some things out there that you clean vegetables with that will alter the flavor of basil. I've been growing basil for over a decade. And I've tried many things. If you put certain veggie cleaners in here like you can buy in the produce department, it alters the flavor. I don't know how. I don't have the answer for that. But it does. Alright, so let's move this. We're just going to gently come in here and move it around. Let it sit just for a minute. Make sure that water's really cold. We're just going to let it sit for a minute and I'm going to spin it dry. Normally, I wouldn't measure all this, but I'm going to do it for y'all because I just normally throw it together. But if you want to be a little more precise, I'm going to go ahead and just measure it out for y'all. So, see how much basil I got here. This is about 4 cups of basil, only slightly packed. So I'm going to put that in my food processor. I've already washed this because this food processor does not get used on the daily. So that is about 4 cups. Alright, so I'm going to add a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil just to start with to get it going. And I'm going to add a heaping ½ teaspoon of garlic or more to taste. I might add, you know what, I'm going to add one more. Just like that. And then Parmesan cheese. I'll go ahead and measure that out. It's about ½ cup. I've used the, the green top spaghetti kind, and it works just perfectly fine. This is a little bit coarser. I got this out of the deli section, I think. This is the brand. It's really good cheese. And now I'm going to add, if I can get the bag open, just keeping it real. I'm adding about ½ cup of walnuts. Some people use pine nuts, and I have used pine nuts. I do. But pine nuts are expensive. And It's not that I couldn't, I guess, go out there and get me a bag of pine nuts, but I've already got walnuts, and I've used walnuts, and it's really good. So we're going to roll with it. Alright. A couple pinches of salt to taste. Over the shoulder for luck, like Rachel Ray. A little bit of black pepper to taste. Get my food processor lid on here. And we're going to start it. Alright, so see right here, it's still coarse. Here, let me just pull it out so you can see it. It's still coarse like that. Oh, that smells good. So you put that in there like that. Now we're going to drizzle olive oil in there and get it to the consistency you want. Now, could you quit now? You absolutely could. And use it for your spaghetti sauces and stuff like that. But I like it to be a little bit more on the saucy side. So that's what we're going to do. Get it off the sides. Now see, for me it's still a little bit too thick. I'll show you. Just add more olive oil. You can also taste it now too. Now if you only like basil and you don't love basil, this can be very strong, but I'm going to try it and see if there's enough salt. That is so good. I'm going to add just a little bit more. Put my lid back on and emulsify it a little bit more. That's how I like mine. See how it just runs right off the spoon? That's perfection. Probably ended up about a cup to a cup and a quarter of olive oil. That is exactly the way I want it. Now, to get it stored. Alright, so this will go in the fridge. Made a mess. This will go in the fridge. Use it for up to a month to a month and a half. It'll be perfectly fine. Just like that. And then I got a little bit to go in the freezer for later. And I will probably harvest that basil at least 2 more times. So that is my pesto. Love it. I think I'm going to put that on some spaghetti squash. Yep.